Worries always take precedence. The secret to a bright, worry-free life. I wish I could live just one day without worries. It is said that most people worry before doing anything. Is there anyone who hasn't stayed up all night worried? People are unable to get out of the swamp of worry, anxiety, and fear. However, there are always situations where worry, anxiety, and fear are visible. But there are people who overcome them. How do they transcend worry, anxiety, and fear and live a bright life? Watch this video and think about it. How do we Christians overcome worry, anxiety, and fear? Philippians 4 verses 6-7. Never worry about anything. Instead, in every situation let your petitions be made known to God through prayers and requests, with thanksgiving. Then God's peace, which goes far beyond anything we can imagine, will guard your hearts and minds in union with the Messiah Jesus. The Bible tells us not to worry about anything. But it is never easy. To overcome these you must pray and seek. We are often told to pray easily. Prayer is never easy. The original Hebrew etymology of prayer means cutting the skin. In other words, you cut off your thoughts like you cut off the skin of your body. Simply put, it means changing your thoughts. This can be done through one's own efforts and, is what I'm worried about really worth worrying about? Think deeply, get specific, and ask yourself questions. Write down in a notebook what you are worried about right now. Write down in detail all the reasons why you are worried about that worry. And consider carefully whether all the reasons for concern will actually happen as you worry. You may discover surprising facts. If you write down all the things you worry about, you will find that almost 80% are things you don't need to worry about. What on earth does this mean? The point is that we often worry about things we don't need to worry about. Worry and anxiety become habits that are ingrained in our bodies without us even realizing it. That's why worry, anxiety, and fear are almost always ahead of me. Rather than worrying, first get into the habit of thinking about what could happen to you as a result of the event. Before you worry, first write down the things that could happen because of it. Think more specifically and write it down. When you do that, you often think of tricks that can reduce those worries. This is especially true for Christians. Before our worries, anxieties, and fears overwhelm us, stand before God first. And look to God. What kind of person is God? Think about what kind of relationship God has with you. We believe that God is omnipotent and omniscient. We call him Father. Before looking at my problems with my own worries, anxieties, and fears, look at them from God's perspective. God is the one who changes the impossible into the possible. God liberated his people by bringing disasters on Egypt, parted the Red Sea, and destroyed the walls of Jericho to give his people the promised land of Canaan. That is the God we believe in. And that God is my Father. Ask the Father. My worries, anxieties, and fears do not go away simply by asking in words. We must believe that God is the one who removes these things from us. The moment I have faith like this, something amazing happens to me. It makes me realize that the peace of Christ guards my heart and mind, and my worries, anxieties, and fears are gone. What strengthens that belief even more is looking back on my past life. Think carefully about the life I have lived until today. How many dangers, difficulties, and crises have come into my life so far? Those moments of adversity have passed and I exist now. In all that journey of suffering, God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit was with us. It may seem like I got through those difficult moments alone, but I know that's not the case. It seems like I have overcome them on my own, but that is not the case. You will know that the Lord was there with you. Christians have God who is more powerful than anyone else in the world, an omnipotent God the Father. If you have faith in relying entirely on God, your worries, anxieties, and fears will disappear. The stronger your faith, the shorter the time that worry, anxiety, and fear stay within you. Rather, when a sense of crisis arises, as if difficulties are about to hit you, you will feel an expectation that God will do something through this rather than worry, anxiety, and fear. Those who completely rely and believe in God have a strong faith and will to boldly take on challenges rather than worry, anxiety, and fear about things that seem difficult that come their way. Instead of letting our worries get ahead of us, let's become people who replace worries, anxieties, and fears with peace, gratitude, and opportunities. Crisis is an opportunity. Let's experience that suffering is a path to true blessings. Christians are disciples in training. Train yourself not to let worry, anxiety, and fear get ahead of you. Pray to surrender your thoughts. Break my negative thoughts with faith. Don't worry ahead of time. Then you will live a bright life instead of worrying. I pray that you win. Thank you for subscribing.